Hey, everybody. Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist here. It's good to connect with you guys again. Happy Wednesday morning to those of you for whom it is Wednesday morning here in Central Time Zone, 11 a.m. I wanted to say that because a lot of people ask, Adam, when are your live streams, right? Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Those are our live streams here, okay? And also this month, Saturday afternoons, usually about 1 or 2 p.m. Check the schedule. I'm trying to schedule those out so you can sign up for them, come up to them, and see us here. Good to connect with all of you. Welcome back for those of you who are coming back and have been here for a long time. It's hard to believe we're closing in on 4 years of this channel so far. And welcome for the first time to many of you who are just coming in. Glad that you're here with us. Today is open Q&A about fixing relationships. I want to take in relationship questions. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on any one individual because we got short time today, but I want to jump in and show you about fixing some of these relationship pieces. If you need deeper assistance beyond what I can do in a few seconds, remember that we have the attachment repair program for individuals and couples. Me and my team go through and work with you to solve those issues. You can find that on adamlanesmith.com on my website. There's links all over this channel for that, especially in the About section. adamlanesmith.com is the place for you. Let me go through here. And Myers, good to see you, and thank you for becoming a member yesterday. I appreciate you. Remember that members, guys, have chat priority. If you hit join here on the bottom, members get chat priority always, and then I try to roll through everybody else as well as I can. And Myers, which of your videos do you suggest sharing with your very avoidant spouse? 29 years married, moved out, avoided discussions in relationship for 4 months. I think it would be open communication. My husband believes personalities are the problem, that we can't coordinate on things. Understanding avoidant attachment helped me see the struggles. And if he understands also, he may have hope. I hear you, Ed Myers. I would highly recommend going back and watching first my master classes, not under the regular views, the regular videos. It's under the lives section. Adam Lane Smith Masterclass, How to Talk to an Avoidant Man Without Driving Him Away. I'd highly recommend that because it talks about how to even broach the subject of avoidant attachment without freaking them out and saying, you've got a diagnosis, you've got a label, something wrong with you. Number one, I'd highly recommend that. If he's open to a conversation, I have an amazing video called What a Man with Avoidant Attachment Style Needs to Be Happy. That's an incredible video that most avoidant men in the comment sections are weeping openly. And I'm not even kidding. I highly recommend you check the comment section on that video. One of the most watched videos of all time here on this channel. If that doesn't do it, I have the biochemistry of avoidant attachment style, raw scientific data with numbers you can check out there. Whatever one you see on there is going to be helpful, but those would be the ones I'd recommend. Sarah, thank you for being a member as well. Hi, Adam. Thanks for your biochemistry video. I enjoyed it. There you are. Can you please explain how the biochemistry of loud disorganized differs from avoidance? Can you make an in-depth video on the topic? I can look into that. However, what I'll say is that a loud disorganized person is not purely avoidant and actually very, very different. Okay. They have the prefrontal cortex of an anxious person being underdeveloped. So they are not self-regulating. That part is missing largely and under-matured. They are overly flooded with oxytocin bonding and have an oxytocin-phobic response. The more connected and intimate they get in the first 3 to 4 months of a relationship, the more they freak out, can't handle it, and they're afraid they're going to get hurt. Then the avoidant tendency kicks on. This is why I don't like the classification of fearful avoidant, because yes, they have some avoidant traits, but the avoidant behaviors are not front and center. They are a second, like third level behavior response to the actual fear drawn from the anxious piece and the trauma. Deep, deep, deep trauma. Much deeper trauma than a purely avoidant person, typically in the loud disorganized style. Good question. Any other members? There are some. Natasha Smith. Good morning, Adam. I'm curious. Good morning. I'm curious how partners should address the Phantom X when they show up. Have a conversation. Hey, tell me what's going on. Now let's talk about what this means for us and how we're going to approach things differently. Yes, there's data. Yes, it's information. Yes, there's a past history. What does it mean now? What does this mean for us, and what will we do to address proactively these issues? That's the conversation that needs to be had. And Myers, thank you. This is exactly the info I needed. He'll be well open to watching. If he's open, amazing. Check out those videos. Those are incredible. I'd watch them first so you're confident sending them. I'm going to go back through and run through the questions. Behringer's, their connection between avoidant attachment and Myers-Briggs. Remember that most people throughout history have not known about attachment theory, including modern therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists. So they invent other things to try to explain them. Psychology right now is trying to invent quiet borderline personality disorder because they don't understand, for example, loud disorganized attachment style. So now you have a personality disorder, even if you don't, it's just a smaller, quiet classification on it, right? We're inventing terms for describing these attachment issues that we've known about for 70 or 80 years now, guys. So the field of psychology has not even caught up really to attachment theory because it's far more lucrative to put people on a subscription model, either a subscription friend that they complain to or a subscription medication. One of my clients I worked with came in with 27 different medications in their life. Didn't know what most of them were for. I think it was at least 8 psych meds thrown in there, by the way. Had no idea why they were on them. Okay. They had no idea. Their doctors didn't even tell them. Sandy, good to see you again. For female FA, how do I manage or handle emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, can manage the irritability from being touched, cuddled, simple gestures, deal with issues on my ends, like partner saying, I love you so much in a day, feeling trapped, annoyed, simple names. And how do I allow myself? Sandy, it sounds like you may have what we call an oxytocin-phobic response. Avoidantly attached women, specifically, by the way, one way to really figure that out is, do they always want to face away during sex and intercourse? Is kissing like to them? They are trying to stay away from the oxytocin bonding. They want to face away. They jump up, put their clothes back on afterward. Oxytocin phobic. That's usually the behavior pattern. If that's the case, it's working through why oxytocin feels so overwhelmingly dangerous to you. Sometimes you work on that with attachment and we desensitize you. Some people go to EMDR for the trauma treatment. There's a number of things you can do, but I would heavily look into oxytocin phobic behaviors. Cool. My favorite coach, Roston. Glad to have that. Thank you. Vivia, great to see you. Rage Machine, do your videos apply to women as avoidance as well? The vast majority, absolutely yes. There are a few components that can be different about avoidant women, but by and large, avoidant behaviors are more or less the same, typically. I do have some very specific videos, multiple videos about avoidant women, though, here on this channel, in the regular video section and in the live section. And I work with a lot of them in our coaching practice. I'm doing the marriage class. Excellent. Coco the Nut. Glad to hear that. How do you handle talking about past hurts? So we have that inside the marriage class. Keep going. It will be in the later section of the marriage class. How do you handle the issues, the breaches of trust? How to have a full, complete apology? How to actually work together as a team respectfully and lovingly? It's toward the end of the course, in the last third, I'd say. Check that section out. Johnny, howdy. I was late to ask yesterday. I'm recently single. How can I work on myself to communicate better in the future? I suspect my ex was an avoidant type, but I don't want to diagnose. Well, I don't know what your specific communication issues are. Usually, when someone comes into our coaching, we say, are you having a hard time communicating needs? Do you not know how to articulate? Are you an emotional communicator? Do you need to add more numbers and measurability? That's especially a big factor that we teach in a lot of our coaching. Do you need to add measurability and numbers? I need to feel loved means nothing. These are two things that make me feel loved. Here's how often I need them. Here's the benefits to me and to our relationship. Can you make this investment and give me this care? That's measurable and exact. So often it's making your communication more measurable and less emotional. Jay, do you have some insights on dissociation along with disorganized attachment style? Dissociation often usually comes from extensive trauma, and the only thing you know how to do is completely shut down. You can look into the dorsal vagal shutdown. For example, people with quiet disorganized attachment in particular will have a dorsal vagal shutdown where they just can't handle it and their brain just goes quiet and dormant because it's just like, let the damage happen, pick up afterward. Dorsal vagal shutdown is really important, but dissociation in particular from trauma, very important to get that resolved. So it depends when you're doing it, how much you're doing it, if you've done any trauma work yourself and things like this. Generally, bringing down the overall stress on the nervous system and then building healthier relationship structures around you prevent you from going up to that level of extreme. And that's often the case for working with dissociation. Meshia, hello. What advice would you give to someone who has let an avoidant go, ended up sending a text after, but now they've come across your videos and they want to try to get them to give it another chance? I get this so often. Oh my gosh, I found this video. It describes him perfectly. If I send it to him, he'll have an epiphany. No, they usually treat it like an attack or they disregard it and they think that you're crazy and they think you're chasing. Having a conversation first and saying, hey, I found this video. It really describes some of what we went through, and I'm not here to demonize. I actually would like to share this with you just because I care about you. Is this something that you'd be interested in learning more about? Video. Being that upfront and direct about it instead of playing like, "Hey, I found this thing. It's so cool." Right? Like, no, they think you're crazy and they think you're diagnosing them and they think you're blaming them for the relationship and they're probably not watching that video. There's probably no way to get them to watch that video at that point. Direct, clear, focused, right? That's one way you can do it. Roston, help. Been broken up 8 months. Attempts to reconcile over text. We love each other. We end up arguing on text. First time meeting in person. Yeah, text is the worst place to try to have legitimate conversations, especially if tension's already high. Everybody is going to be misreading everything. And if you already have attachment issues on one or both sides, it's going to explode over text. Text is the worst place to have conversations like that. Meet in person. Have conversations about what were you seeing from your side. Be curious and ask more questions, and then say, can I now share what I was seeing from my side? Share perceptions, feelings, experiences. Shy away from you did, or you didn't. Here's what I was experiencing and seeing from my side. Here's how it seemed. So the disconnect is what we've got to solve together if we want to make this work. Then you move into practical application. Cool. What are we going to do about this, and how would we make sure it goes differently this time, and not we'll try really hard, we'll white knuckle it. No, what are we going to do? What structures, plans, organizations? Guys, this is why people come to me and my team for coaching, is building this exact structure. So give that a shot. Give that a shot, Rustin. See if you can do that. If you guys can have that conversation, cool. If not, it might be an indication you guys might not be a good fit right now. Give it a shot. Ashley, FA, we talked. He said he was hopeful. Then 2 days later, he broke up with me. Yep, different reasons, different morals. But I thought we had talked everything out. 7-month relationship, not heard from him since. Incredibly common. At 7 months, remember the novelty dopamine is dead. And if they're fearful avoidant, it's a miracle they held on for 7 months, typically. They are freaking out and finding every possible reason to break up with you at that point, and they've not properly oxytocin bonded. Have you watched, Ashley, the videos on the biochemistry of avoidant attachment style and why they're not bonding? Have you seen my video about why avoidantly attached people in particular prefer situationships and casual sex? I would definitely go recommend watching those because they're bonding differently biochemically from how you are. Okay. Sandy, that's me. Ouch, ouch. Sorry, Sandy. Lisa, I'm in a 5-month online situationship. Got it. We've had a lot of conflict because he often pulls back when overwhelmed. Now he finally said he might be done, and I don't know what to do. I still want to try. I don't know how to approach. 5-month online situationship with a lot of conflict, and he pulls away. Now he said he might be done. Lisa, let me ask, what is it that's keeping you so keen on this relationship? Why is this so emotionally investing for you? Why are you investing in a 5-month online situationship with a tremendous amount of conflict? Let me ask you that. What is it about you that believes this is the best you can get? What is it about this? Help me understand. I'm not judging. I'm actually asking this to get you thinking like, what is it that's keeping me on this? Usually women say, well, I really like him. He just seems great. He's a nice guy, right? He has good principles. That's usually what I hear. But what is it that's like keeping you locked into this? Because an online situationship with high conflict and now emotional abandonment, what is it that's making your brain think this is worth investing in? Help me understand. Megan, good to see you, and thank you for being a member. Greetings. What's the difference between loud, disorganized, quiet, disorganized? I have entire videos on this. However, I get the confusion. Loud, disorganized is big and explosive and emotional and passionate and flipping back and forth between anxious and avoidant on the outside and very noticeable. They look chaotic and dysregulated to other people, and it's usually very apparent. Okay. And they usually have a 3 to 4 month relationship cycle, maybe slightly longer if the other person's really quiet and accommodating, but much, much shorter typically. Explosive, emotional, hot, cold, passionate, wild, almost looks like a personality disorder, is not one. Quiet, disorganized, completely isolated, walled off, and contained. Avoidant on the outside, cold, disinterested on the outside. On the inside, quiet, secret self distrust, Anxious attachment on the inside, freeze state, locking up, tends to go inward. Both are deeply traumatized, but completely opposite. And the quiet disorganized have been invisible for all of history. But even since attachment theory was formed 70 years ago, I've had to bring it up and update the field of attachment theory to create a place for quiet disorganized because it was not even there. So huge difference, massive difference. They're almost opposites, except that they're both overwhelmingly traumatized and both have elements of both anxious and avoidant. Good question. Rose, my avoidant man gets very overwhelmed when we get close. Thank you for being a member. Very overwhelmed when we get close. We've had open, positive discussions about attachment styles, how to approach going deeper with self-attachment work. Is he open to changing and improving? It breaks my heart when women are like, my man is so overwhelmingly resistant to growth or love or connection. How do I convince him and guide him into love? Not really the way it's supposed to work. Not really the way. How open is he, for example, to watching any of the hundreds of videos here on my channel? Have you shown him my video, what a man with avoidant attachment style needs to be happy? Have you shown him that video and all the massive amounts of men in the comment sections like, this is me, I'm crying as I'm watching this, I want to change, I'm ready to grow, like really seeing that difference. The biggest challenge with avoidant attachment style is convincing them there's even another way to live, because that extensive trauma makes it very, very hard for them to even believe there's a second state. They're always in chronic sympathetic nervous system activation. They've never really experienced parasympathetic. When they want peace, that's what they want, but they also don't believe it's possible. So they're on an endless quest to try to find it somewhere. I don't know how to broach the subject of sharing videos. I talked about it earlier on this video. I'd recommend actually going back and rewatching the replay. I talked about it there. I'd highly recommend doing that. Definitely a good place for you to start. And Myers, I'm taking members first. Members first. Remember down here at the bottom, if you hit that join button, you can support the channel. You become a member, you get chat priority in these Q&As. I want to make sure I take care of members who take care of me. So thank you, you guys. And Myers, Adam, how do you see ADHD fitting into emotional dysregulation, being clear and concise when describing how you feel? What tools or videos do you suggest? I actually have a video here on this channel. When ADHD is not ADHD was actually the title of that video. I'd highly recommend checking that video out here on this channel. And I've done other videos similarly where neurotypical and neuroatypicals and then matching those up to attachment style. So that's a much bigger topic than I could probably cover right now, but I'd recommend mapping out and watching those videos in particular. That will help. That will help. I mean, really what you need to know is if you have an ADHD brain, which very few people diagnosed with ADHD actually have, they have massive anxiety issues instead. But when you have an actual true ADHD brain, emotional dysregulation makes your brain type non-functional in modern society is what it tends to do. So it makes the specializations you would have bad and worse, so you look non-functional. Most people with ADHD can be massively successful in certain avenues if they harness it right, but you have to be emotionally regulated, and then you have to build a lifestyle that's optimized to your brain type, typically. Arkin, are we only focusing on fixing romantic relationships? Nope, not really. Relationship open discussion here. But he was open to discussing and learning. Yeah, Rose, I would highly recommend go watch the first part of this live stream, that replay, because I describe in there how to introduce an avoidant man to the videos, how to have that conversation. I mentioned the masterclass that I talked about earlier as well. That all of that's in there. I'd highly recommend go back to the beginning of this live stream, watch the replay. It posts like immediately, so I'd really recommend watching that piece. Highly recommend. Okay, Angelique. I'm also prepared for withdraw funds. What? I'm also prepared to withdraw funds to pay for coaching with Adam. My significant other finally agreed he would join. I love that. 1, possibly 2, coaching, communication, clarity. Cool. I'm here to help when you need me. I need him to watch a few videos that will benefit the most for someone that thinks therapists use labels to feel superior. Labels of any sort offend him. I need help believing your knowledge and lessons are worth it. I've tried a few times. It has worked. I don't know what to do or say even when it works. He's curious, and I also see it in his eyes. Yeah, so, okay. So I did a masterclass several months back, how to talk to an avoidant man without driving him away. And in that masterclass, I lay out an exact structured process for talking to an avoidant person about their avoidant behaviors without calling them avoidant. perfect. In that masterclass, it's not in the videos section, it's in the lives section. And it's Adam Lane Smith Masterclass, How to Talk to an Avoidant Man. I'd highly recommend checking out that masterclass. It's still posted. Go check that out. It will lay out the exact 1, 2, 3 formula for you and Rose and everybody else for exactly how to do that. Okay. If you need help finding it, send me an email, support@adamlanesmith.com. Hey, Adam, can you tag me your masterclass? Can you help me find it? We'll help you find it. Not a problem. Me and my team will take care of you. But I highly recommend you follow that 1, 2, 3 pattern. Now, avoidant attachment style is a label. It is a pattern of behavior. What is a label? It's not a diagnosis. It's a constellation of behaviors that is so common that we have given it a name. That's all it is. It is not a diagnosis. These are not diagnoses. These are constellations of behaviors that are common, and so we have given it a specific label, a name, because we need to describe it so often. That's all. Now, avoidant attachment style is a survival state brought on by trauma. It is massively high performing in some areas. It is very underperforming in other areas. It is a trauma-based specialization, and it limits your ability to be happy. I'd highly recommend following that masterclass and following that structure. At some point, he's going to come across the word avoidant. It's a thing. If he's going to come across it, I'd highly recommend watching that video, What a Man with Avoidant Attachment Style Needs to Be Happy. Show him this section right here of me talking right now about these labels not being diagnoses. Okay? This is not a diagnosis, and it's not meant to dismiss a human being. So there we are. Rose, same thing to you there. Yeah, no, don't be sorry. Not at all. It's a question I get a lot. That's why I did a masterclass on it. So I will keep pointing everybody back to that masterclass. Archeon, I feel like I haven't been a very good son to my mom. I could be a little quick to anger in a way I'm not with others, and I wear way too much food. I also can be very impulsive. Okay. Do you have a question with that? Let me know. Sarah, loud disorganized, appears ready for commitment. Haven't discussed labels, but he said, in you, I found everything I could desire. You're in the mirror of my dreams and aspirations. This is getting ready for marriage. You won't know until you ask. You have to have a conversation. You haven't discussed labels. I really don't think he's getting ready for marriage, to be honest with you. People don't usually go from we don't discuss labels to let's get married. It's pretty much unheard of for that to happen. You need to have a conversation about, hey, what is this relationship going to do? What are we going to build together? And what are we together? And what connection do we share? A label, again, is not meant to limit us and make us unhappy. It's to help focus us, direct us, and in some ways protect us so that we both know we are mutually invested together. If one person refuses to put a label on a relationship, they are not invested in the relationship at all. Okay, so the labels help you understand that we are mutually invested to the right extent in our relationship. If we're boyfriend and girlfriend, if we're lovers, if we're engaged, if it's a situationship, if we're married, right? Whatever it might be, we need to be properly invested at the same level together and agree that we're going to stay that invested and then do the responsibilities and the connections that are going to come along with that. And let's talk about what those are at each step. Let's not assume. Okay, everything should be explicitly discussed. I think that needs to be happening very quickly. Nishia, thank you for that donation. I appreciate you, and that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. How do I approach an avoidant that I've had an on and off cycle with? I want her to give us another chance, but do I allow time to go by? An avoidant person thinks in terms of dopamine, good feelings, and cortisol, stress. These are the two real chemicals they encounter in their life. They don't have much encounter at all with oxytocin, which is the issue. They don't have encounters with vasopressin, which is an issue. And they don't go into their parasympathetic to generate much serotonin, which is an issue. So they have primarily cortisol and adrenaline put in there and dopamine. So if they are on a cortisol spike, they pull away and they can get calm and then come back, but that tends to be short-lived. Now, if they build a massive cortisol association against you, that's a different thing. You should have a conversation with them and say, hey, I'd love to reconnect. Are you open to that? And if so, when is good for you? That level of casual, calm, short reconnection notice to an avoidant, That's the proper way to go. Hey, I'd love to reconnect with you. Are you open to that? If so, when is good for you? That's it. If you can do that, that is the best approach for avoidantly attached people. I've had that work tons of times with my coaching clients. Archeon, my mom confirmed I haven't been very good to her. She's in her 60s. I don't want to die before I can heal our relationship and be good to her. How can I do that? Frankly, sitting down with her, saying, Mom, what are the top 3 points of friction in our relationship that you really feel I could be more loving to you? Help me understand what 3 areas I could be more loving to you. What does it look like? What are the what are specific actions that would show that? How often do you need those actions? And yes, I can do those, right? Sit down, get curious, ask questions, get measurability, build a plan. 3 things that would be more loving and caring. Okay. And not just quit doing, quit doing, quit doing. Sure, those are helpful, but what do I do instead? What do I replace that with? That's what I recommend. And not just for Archeon and his mother, but people in difficult relationships. That's a great approach right there. Chandrika, thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate you and thank you. All right, I'm going to roll back through. I'm going to try to take other people here. People I haven't taken before. Madhavi, Adam, what's the relationship between having Asperger syndrome and being avoidant? I did an entire video on is he avoidant or is he autistic? I did a whole video on this. Highly recommend you go check it out. It was like a 30-minute exploration of the difference and the overlap, the difference. You can be both, like all kinds of things. So I'd highly recommend go checking out that video here on this channel. It was in the last few months. Angelique, thank you so much for your support of the channel and joining the inner circle. I appreciate you. That's very, very kind. Please let me know what questions you have as we go forward so I can keep helping. And remember, guys, when you're on a membership for the month, you get chat priority for every live stream all month long. Hit that join button right down here at the bottom. You pop in. Meshi, I'm an anxious attachment. Glad to have found you. Glad you're here as well. I would highly recommend check out my video. What an avoidant woman needs to be happy. What an avoidant how to love an avoidant woman. That's what it was called. How to love an avoidant woman. I've got so many videos. How to love an avoidant woman. Go check out that video here on my channel. You're gonna love it. How do an avoidant man and avoidant woman make a long-term relationship work? It is enormously hard. I remember coaching a couple like that once. There was almost nothing holding them together. The issue is that when things get tough, they just drift and they both cycle out. Now, they can make life easy on each other a bit, but especially having children together or building something together, very, very hard. It is so hard for two avoidant people to actually link up unless they have something like work or money or they're forced to link up for some reason. Linking up for passion or romance, all very, very difficult. I'll just say very, very difficult. My coaches and I have run a few avoidant couples through some programs. You have to teach them how to actually oxytocin bond so they properly get invested. So giving them that connection so they actually oxytocin bond is mandatory. That's the glue that begins holding them together as a couple. And then arguably they cease to be avoidant at that point, which is the goal. You can't stay avoidant though and really stay connected like that. It's very, very hard. Rose, Adam, will you be making more live coaching videos? Your most recent series with Kimmy was amazing. Oh, yes. I hope you make more with all the other attachment styles too for avoidance resistant. 100%. So everybody here, if you didn't know, I run a podcast with my team. My co-host Andre is on there. It's wonderful. It's called I Wish You Knew, the I Wish You Knew podcast. I do live coaching sessions of an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours over there. A lot of times with couples. I got a lot of avoidant women, quite disorganized women, avoidant men. I've got a lot of that over there. It is very difficult to get purely anxious people on the channel, for example, because most of them are like, I can't be seen. Like I'd have to talk and share, and they freak. So very, very hard to get anxiously attached people to join and do live coaching. If anybody here is interested in doing live coaching on the I Wish You Knew channel and you're loud disorganized or you're anxiously attached, please let us know. You can write into support@adamlanesmith.com. Let us know. There's a whole process we go through for screening because we want to be careful who we bring on. Sometimes, we don't want to bring people who are not functional. We don't want to make it like, a tabloid show. We want to be tasteful and thoughtful and respectful and actually help people. So there's that. Anyway, Yes, I will 100%, by the way, Rose, be doing more of those. I love that channel. I love that series. I love helping people like that. It's been fantastic. Thank you for enjoying it. Thank you for calling it out. Archeon, I haven't had the same problem with my dad as an adult. Do you think this is a learned behavior or that needs medication from a professional? If you're worried about needing professional assistance and medication, that's not really an answer I should give, to be honest with you. That's something you should talk to a professional about. But I would talk to both parents and say, hey, this is an issue with you. It's not an issue here. What is it about our dynamic? And I'm not blaming you. It's what's different between us. I'm curious to get to the bottom of it and then solve it. Is there maybe something with dad that is off, or is it that our dynamic is very different? Oftentimes, things come off at mom differently than they do at dad. Sometimes it's a safer person to go off at and be mean to early on when we're stressed out. Sometimes we vent stress at mom. Some people do vent stress at mom more than they would at dad because mom's not gonna, mom's not as scary or intimidating sometimes. Sometimes mom is more intimidating. It really depends though. Meshia, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, and that is very, very kind. All of my members, thank you so much for your support. It means a great deal. I'm trying to help 1 billion people get secure attachment in the course of my life. As I'm here, if God gives me if He gives me 50 more years, right, a lot more time, I hope so. I will try to help 1 million people. Me, my team, even you, everybody out there. Let's work together to get 1 billion people secure. And my members, you're helping me do that especially. So thank you to all of you. Rose, great. Yes, as an anxious attachment, I was wondering how anyone could be so brave to go on the show. That's why people ask me, can you get some anxiously attached people? Well, I'd have to catch them with nets and drag them to the show. That's part of the problem. So 100% with you, Rose. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do. I admired for it. I never thought if I could. Now it makes sense why with your explanation. No, 100%. Megan, the lives are Tuesday and Wednesday at 11. Yep, 100%. Does the podcast have regular meeting days? The podcast, it releases usually every Thursday night, Central Time, Eastern Time, like US, every Thursday night or so. If you really want to stay on top of release schedule, either follow the I Wish You Knew podcast here on YouTube, or especially go check out the I Wish You Knew Instagram page. We post, and my Instagram page, we post teasers of the episodes. We tell you when it launches. We let you know. We notify you. You can subscribe to that podcast on every major podcasting platform, by the way. It's everywhere. So we are everywhere. I want everyone to be learning about secure attachment. So thank you to all of you. It has been great talking with you here today. I am going to be back for another live stream Saturday. I believe it's at 2:00 US Central Time. It's also scheduled. You can go sign up right now for notifications. Make sure you get notifications on the channel. Make sure your notifications on the app are turned on, and make sure that your phone gives you notifications. A lot of people say, I sign up for notifications, but I don't get them. Yeah, there's like 3 layers of barriers you got to get through to get notified. So sign up for notifications. I will see you on Saturday. It'd be great to talk with you. To all my new members, thank you so much for your support. To all of you out there, I'm proud of the work that you are doing. You are doing great. Keep going. Be secure. Even if you don't feel secure yet, do what a secure person would do. Have the conversation. Ask the question. Share the need. The more that you practice secure behavior, the more secure people you attract, and the safer and more loving and peaceful your life becomes over time. So be secure, even if you don't feel secure yet. All right, everybody, I will take care of you on Saturday again. I'm looking forward to that conversation. It's going to be wild. Make sure you sign up for notifications, and I'll be there.